네.
안녕하세요. 1픽입니다.
Hello, my name is Jiyoung. I'm the chair for this debate. Today's argument is juvenile law abolished. Juvenile law is an area of the law that deals with the actions and well-being of people who are not yet adults. The purpose of the legislation of the juvenile law is to protect juvenile from nauseous environment. We have chosen this argument because recently teenagers' crime have been increasing roles, so it has been a social issue. So now the affirmative team and the negative team will say about their opinions.
안녕하세요. 저희는 이주화어학원 영어 토론 동아리입니다. 지금부터 저희는 청소년법 폐지에 관하여 토론을 시작하도록 하겠습니다.
Hello, my name is Shin Ga-yeon. I agree to abolish the juvenile law. The reason why I abolish the juvenile law is first, many juveniles are committing serious crime because they know the law will protect them. For instance, everyone you know the Busan middle school girl violence incident, right? This incident is one middle school girl who was indiscriminately violated by other students. In that case, government didn't give a powerful punishment to juvenile offenders. Not only this incident, but most juvenile offenders are committing crime because they think they are protected by the juvenile law. Second, nowadays, juvenile offenders' second conviction rate is going up. Korean juvenile offenders' second conviction rate is increased 36.4% than 10 years ago. The basic reason of this is because of the juvenile law. Juveniles know even though they committed a crime, the punishment is weak, so they do second conviction. In conclusion, I strongly agree to abolish the juvenile law. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Yoon Ji-ye. I'm a student who opposes abolition of the juvenile. Also, I think revision of the juvenile law is better than abolition. For that reason, first, if we abolish juvenile law, we violate UN International Convention on the Rights of the Child. Like this UN Human Rights Convention is not only higher than domestic law, but also gets validity such as it. In other words, I think abolition of the juvenile will not work, because it violates Constitution. Second, there will be careful steps to enact the law, so I think abolition of the juvenile is a rash behavior. Last, the Article 1 of juvenile law says, create an environment for boys with antisocial characteristics and conduct necessary measures such as protective measures for correction of behavior. I think children who still don't know about education and environment can change. And I think giving a situation to recognize their mistake or giving special actions to reflect their behaviors, such as prison life with real criminals, is a good choice. In conclusion, I oppose to abolition of the juvenile. Thank you.
Now the affirmative team and the negative team will do the rebuttal on the other team.
Hello, my name is Kim Do-yeon, and today I will start our rebuttal about their opinion. First, you said we shouldn't abolish the juvenile law because it is violating the rule and to give the chance to them. However, there is some problem. First, even if UN adopted a rule about juvenile law, we can abolish it. You said if we abolish the juvenile law, that means we are against the rule by UN, but it's not. For example, as we mentioned before, there was a tragedy a few months ago. One student from Busan experienced juvenile violence and she badly injured. Because of this incident, many people shout out loud to abolish the juvenile law, and government mentioned that they will consider about it in positive way. Even though UN is powerful, we do not need to obey the rule. It's not in the constitution. Second, you said we must give the chance to them. However, according to the statistics, there is a growing second conviction rate for the juvenile offenders. It means that actually juvenile laws or leads to them to the worst case. Imagine we made the juvenile law to give a chance to them, but actually they use that chance into the bad way. In conclusion, nowadays juveniles getting more ruthless and evil even more than adults. We do not need to care about them and we must not give a special chance to them. For these reasons, I think the juvenile law must be abolished. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Im Yoon-ji. First, affirmative position claimed that teenagers believe in the juvenile law and commit crimes. But many experts said that teenagers don't expect that they won't be punished by juvenile law. They just commit crimes accidentally and unconsciously. It is a feature of juvenile delinquency. Second, they insist to punish young criminals by abolishing the law, but there's no Second, they insist to punish young criminals by abolishing the law, but there's no basis that teenagers' rate of crime occurrence will be decreased by abolishing the law, and I think that the teenagers' crime is difficult to solve by using fundamental ways. Also, abolition of the juvenile law is just extemporary feeling expression. The government should foster the circumstance that antisocial teenagers can regret on themselves and grow in the right direction. They should foster the circumstance that antisocial teenagers can regret on themselves and grow in the right direction. They should help them to live wholesomely. Thank you for listening.
The affirmative team and the negative team will do the second rebuttal on the other team.
Hello, my name is Park Yeon-ho. First, the opponent argued juvenile crimes are mostly accidents. However, just because it is an unintended crime does not mean the guilt is over. Do you remember 2 years ago when an elementary student threw a brick at the top of the building, causing an accidental murder? Due to his age, there were no punishments. The child threw a brick for pranks, but they killed somebody's beloved family. Even if you fix the juvenile law, it will eventually be an extension of the juvenile law itself, and there will still be victims of that, so the law should be abolished. Second, the opponent argued even if it did abolish, the reduction of juvenile recidivism is unclear. However, let me ask you this. When the criminal apologizes for what he had done, should the victim forgive him? Punishment is not an opportunity for regrets, and it always can't be wiped out by offenders' crocodile tears either. I think the juvenile law, which lightens the punishment of the offender, even without the permission of the victim, should be stopped. Everyone must pay for his sin equally. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kim Ji-won. On the first reason offered by the agreement, the nation showed a positive opinion on the revision of the juvenile law, not on the abolition of the law. A representative proposed by the National Assembly is the revision to the current age of the juvenile law by 1 year to less than 14. Second, sending them to jail to prevent reoffending is not the only option. On the contrary, they aren't more likely to be reformed even when they are in the jail for a long time, and they do not have any deterrent against crime. In other words, our opponents insist revision on the juvenile law, not on the abolition of the juvenile law. The basis of that is first, abolition of the juvenile law is against the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child. Second, only intensified punishment can be the key for prevent their second conviction. Cruel violence is a combination, the unstable mental of adolescents with a dangerous environment. So the most important thing is release from their anxiety and improvement of environment. We should not abandon their protection under the pretense of their human rights for children. Thank you for listening.
The judge will judge about each other team's TV behavior and the validity of the evidence.
So my name is Pegaso. Today, both sides worked hard on the question of whether it is fair to abolish the juvenile law. They had a stormy discussion with one another. Both sides showed a good attitude in the debate. The pros argument was impressive in the opening part, but the counter argument was outstanding in the second half. However, I will vote for pro because pro attacked the cost major point by asking a key question. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening our presentation.